aggressiveness, support fire, and just fast gameplay. Now, Addvers used to be one of the most feared players in our league, but I don't know if he's playing at that same pace in which he used to back in the day. You know, no matter if he had a shotty out or a Lancers, you know, he was ready for whatever was thrown his way. But I'm considering him more of that support player, kind of the same mix of Kardia. And Identivez is going to have to be the one that kind of steps up and picks it up when it comes down to the sling power, which they're going to lose from Demon. So we'll see if they can do that and see if Crack can rise up to the occasion.
If there's any map, though, that could be really good for Rebel, it's going to be this one. Like I said, they lost to EU, but they played it well for what it's worth, despite them, because, you know, one scrim, they kept it close against EU United, so Rebel could do decently well here and, in fact, take map number 1. But if Elevate takes map 1 here, Regency control, it's going to be very telling and pretty worrisome for Rebel as a whole, in my opinion. But we're just getting started. Identivez hits a nice shot on the Crushmo, goes for the second on the Yogurt, gets the body, and that's going to be a hill retake for Rebel.
Yeah, Rebel, man, they come in, they're able to clear out neutral at the first hill at Rose Garden, and now they're making their rotations up top towards info. Got about 10 seconds left on old. Enough time for these players to rotate, put themselves in position. One in-bar shot left and one in-bar shot to the face of Zenun. Now with a man advantage, Rebel looking to move in. Great angles here from Addvers. The damage is there. The spacing is there as well. They do not give Elevate even a breath of opportunity here to be able to get in there and win that team fight. So good job on a retake from Rebel.
Yeah, great job indeed. It's kind of funny. It's been a really slow Regency control so far. Normally we've seen some massive team fights, a lot of blood and guts, but it's just really slow. I don't know. It's not necessarily a bad thing either, but I'm just curious if it's going to heat up after all. But Elevate full 4-man push, and Rebel handles them pretty easily, and that's going to be pretty telling in my opinion, Blaze, because Elevate literally just went toe-to-toe with Rebel full force, and they got handled in an easy way. So I don't know. This could be pretty rough. We'll see how the second attempt's going to go, but great shots from Addvers. Oh my.
Yeah, great shots indeed from Addvers. Now, that kill does not get cleaned up, and Zenun is able to move forward, find one, but he needs more than that. Crushmo can't get a kill off the opposite end, and Elevate just keeps getting staggered. But coming off this respawn, they all will be together as a 4-man unit rotating across the map towards gold, but they go for the frag grenades. Now they will be able to pocket those nades and get them back on a respawn, but with Identivez having M-bar in hand, he has this entire center lane locked down with a flank coming in from Kardia. Surely they should be able to get this kill. They will. And now at this moment, Rebel just setting up. They got one more kill, actually a few more to actually win this team fight here. And there they go. There's the kills they needed, Taylor, right there. Those are the ones that they needed to win the team fight.
I'm gonna be real with you. Elevate needs to step it up and bring their A game, because this has kind of been all Rebel. Minus that first hill, but that first hill is always scrappy and kind of back and forth. But I don't know. Like, Rebel, I think, is playing at a pretty good speed, but Elevate seems in slow motion. I don't know if that's the right thing to say, but it's been a very slow game. It's just kind of weird. But Addvers opposite of one from Elevate, trying to dip out, control mid if you possibly can. That's going to be Noxious on the opposite end. Elevate starting to close that point deficit a little bit more. Rebel setting up 4 strong to go for the break. Still 40 seconds, a lot of time to play for.
A lot of time to play for indeed, but with the flashes out, Elevate moves in from the Rose Garden, but they go down one by one by one. A team fight being won by Rebel. And Elevate had no answer for that one, folks. Now both squads need to worry about going towards Statue where the M-bar spawns. This is a must-win team fight for Rebel. They are down, and this one needs to be scrappy. They cannot give up a big chunk of time over here towards Rebel. Now, with the fight going out wide, Noxious goes down. Multiple downs here towards the center. Elevate needs to clean house, and it's looking like that's exactly what they're going to do in M-bar in hand. They need to win his next team fight to get a good amount of time.
Most useful.
There we go, passing off that M-bar.
What a steal.
Ooh, nice
okay,
shot.
I see why you stole it.
Yeah. Yep, nice shot. Zenun having it right. I mean, you'd expect somebody else, but Zenun pops off. Give the respect where respect is due. Yeah.
I expect Zenun. He is the marksman of this team. He is the sniper.
Oh, hey, Noxious and Zenun be arguing in chat right now. I know they are because it's like, brother, I had that. You didn't have to help me
but
out.
But Noxious is not a... Noxious used power weapons, but Noxious should not have power weapons in his hand.
No, I'm saying in that one fight because Noxious about to up A that player, but then Zenun takes it with the sniper across map, and then Zenun takes out Yogurt. So, bit wild plays, but hey, he at least connected on the 2 Rebel members, so he's at least positive KD-wise. Great body shot on the crack. Identivez pushing up. Noxious needs to hold his own, but an even better frag. Zenun and Noxious lose their life, and Rebel gets that much closer to breaking the hill, and they do.
And I actually think he may have even died with that M-bar out in hand, but Yogurt misses the second shot that he needed there. 3 members of Rebel grouped up on those stairs, but they will be able to get the revives and survive the moment with 30 seconds left in the hill. This is the last team fight that you have here if you want to contest it, but instead, we're seeing this rotation back towards Fountain. Identivez has an angle here towards the spawn side, and he did pick up that M-bar off the ground, as we can see. So Elevate, they make it to the hill first, but is it enough time to win the fight?
I don't think it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be anyways for Addvers. Trying to hold his ground. Identivez picked up one earlier. Good read on Noxious. Takes him down. Yogurt's also down on the steps. Crack needs to go for the finish, but at least at the time gets the pickup, and now they are at full force to at least go against the counter push from Elevate. As Elevate struggling down these 70 or so points, they could find themselves into trouble depending on how this goes. Crushmo has the shock. He's got to throw it long, get those back players out of position, and then go for the attack. But I believe Rebel now, 3 for 4 if I'm not mistaken on the M-bars in general. Kardia gets that, but here comes the break from Elevate.
Ooh, good shots there, but the kills don't come through. The first M-bar shot misses. In the end, the Rebels still trade out the kills. They're at a disadvantage. Actually, I take that back. 3v3 with the M-bar at hand and a slight height advantage on the stairs. These shots need to be hit with the M-bar. Beautiful flash. One body shot is there, but is it enough damage? Yes, it is. Crack makes the play. Ooh. And there's the M-bar shot we were looking for here for the Rebel fans as they lock in the hill. 50 points. You can see as he's moving 36 points in the hill for him to be able to rack up. That's plenty of time for Rebel as they have so far been controlling this series. With this pretty much 100-point lead that they're about to have, it can just rotate early, set up for the heals, take their numbers, and they're going to end up winning this map eventually.
I'm going to be honest with you, Blaze. Rebel's chilling at this point. Like, Rebel is just chilling. Their M-bar plays have been phenomenal, whether it's Kardia or Identivez. Elevate has to put more of the emphasis of getting those M-bars out of Rebel's hands. I mean, Zenun can connect in his own right, but Identivez and Kardia are getting way too much value, way too much map presence with the M-bars. So Elevate, that is going to be something they need to clean up, and quickly, because they cannot continue to allow Kardia and Identivez to go off as they are doing. Crack trying to hide, but cannot. Good Lancer fire to get him out of the way. Shock was picked up from Identivez. Meanwhile, though, Elevate trying to close that gap. Still doable. Rebel isn't within that scary territory just yet, but every team fight they get into, man, Rebel looks good. Minus that one, I guess. Zenun needs to get into cover.
Yeah, so as you see, Rebel here towards the back of this hill, they're going to win this 2v2 fight for now as they're able to get the kill cleaned up. Now the pinch coming in from the back spine. Crushmo has his hands full as he's going to try to slow down both those players, buying his team to win the fight in a hill in which they cannot. So Crushmo becomes the focus of attention. He needs to at least take one to the grave. Can't do that. And Rebel will be able to get set up with 48 points on the hill. And the trend continues. They rotate early. They win these team fights. They don't have M-bar in this moment, and this is where Zenun has to go huge for a squad. He needs to connect on one of these shots in the back, or at least keep these players' heads down for his teammates to get through.
Here comes the full man push from Elevate. Now every time they do this, Rebel takes them down in the end, but it's a bit more scrappy this time around. Maybe a breakout occurs. Crack, though, steady shot, steady hands. Will Lancer down Yogurt as he tries to head down into him, and ultimately Rebel handles that fight with ease. Elevate only getting mere points off of that last hill, really off of the last couple of hills, Blaze, but Rebel continues to accumulate a lead closer and closer to the 300-point mark. And again, unless something drastically changes with Elevate's team fights, they are not beating Rebel on Regency control.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that one. And what does need to change here when it comes down towards, you know, Rebel's team fights? Well, Rebel don't gotta change much, but what needs to change when it comes down to Elevate's team fights? I want to see more wolf packing from him. I want to see them a little bit closer together here, because like just in this fight right here, Noxious, he picks up 1 kill, but he needs someone closer to his hip there to be able to finish off the second. Crushmo rotates over there to finish that fight, but here comes the setup for Elevate. They need a good defensive hold, and with that shock, they get off to a great start.
Great start indeed, but still, a start isn't going to be enough. They also need a good finish, and we're going to be at that point shortly. I expect even if Elevate starts to come back, it's going to come down to a pretty big battle, decisive battle on the final hill, but we might not even get to that point because Rebel quickly takes over the hill once again. Crushmo in no man's land, he'll be taken down. And you can see how confident Rebel is because teams don't normally push up this aggressively to meet the team head on. They'll normally, hang back in flowers and they'll end up shooting out and, getting that team damage. But they go for the challenge. But either way, it seems like that benefited Elevate. It's brought down to a 2v2. Identivez hits a shot, gets a trade. Kardia by himself now, opposite of 2 players from Elevate, but they don't commit on the shot. Kardia will capitalize, and Yogurt just on the opposite end, he's getting fired on. And my goodness, if you can't win a 2v1, what can you do?
Yeah, you have to be able to win those. Those need to be textbook, especially when your back's against the wall. 40 points needed for Rebel to be able to close out this map. Number 1, the team fight is won by Elevate up top at Info. They spread out, they take the spawn. They even have some presence here towards the mid-map as well. You're gonna have to worry about these power weapons too as they spawn up. I don't think anything is going to be able to come up that's going to play a factor. That nade is already there. Toss 1. The second is on the ground. That shot's missed from Crushmo.
No,
and Identivez says, turn your sense up, brother.
Yeah, that was bad. That was really bad. Zenun, opposite that of Kardia, straight into Identivez. He's everywhere. Identivez he's TPing all over the map at this point, man. And it's not because of lag, just because he's incredibly fast and quick and efficient at getting where he needs to be. And as I said, Rebel's been playing, at the pace that we always expect them to be. But for Elevate, they're just in slow motion. It seems missing shots, pushing together as a team, but not capitalizing, not making anything happen. The team fire isn't working. Wrap it up, man. Even if Elevate goes for a final attempt, this match is over with. Rebel wins.
Right there.
Elevate hasn't showed us much of anything that they can come back and do something very unthinkable here in the late game, folks. As we're looking at it, we know it's only one team fight away for Rebel to be able to close this one out with 3 seconds left. 3 points needed to be able to close it out. What is it?
One team fight, one early
hill?
rotate. That's all they need.
I'm still gonna go fight for this hill.
Look at this guy. He doesn't even want it.
They talking about next map.
Hey, might as well. Might as well be talking about 2.
They're gonna win it at 2v1 on top of this hill. Oh, actually, Noxious says, "Hold up."
Where were those shots before? Noxious.
Say you ain't winning here.
What a way to turn up when it's 297 to 146. But hey, I mean, better late than never at this point. This would be the ultimate collapse of a team if Rebel lost this to Elevate in this moment.
It would, but we won't see it.
3 points away.
It is, but we won't see it. Elevate ain't gonna do it. They're not about that life, Taylor.
I don't know.
They ain't gonna win this fight right here.
Shots, so they might be about that life. Hey,
they gonna win this fight? Okay.
I think they are. They are.
They ain't gonna do it again. they ain't gonna do it again.
Brother, I'm gonna tell you this right now.
What?
If Rebel loses this, I'm shaving all my hair off my head. Done.
Okay,
Eyebrows included,
okay,
brother.
bet. No,
Done.
you already bet. Deal.
Done. Be looking like an alien, naked mole rat over here, man. Don't even
And we
care.
just got you with a full beard too, Taylor.
Imagine
You
the
actually
sunburn
look
I
your
get on my
height
head.
now.
Huh?
Yeah, I say you actually look your height now with your beard.
What the hell does that mean, man?
You look your height. Some people look their age. You look your height.
And focus on the game, man. That's all I gotta say. Focus on the game, man. Rebel takes
Ladies
it
and gentlemen,
convincingly.
Rebel comes out in map number 1 with a dominant performance. Absolute victory.
Whoa,
Identivez 46 eliminations.
46.
We talked about a player having to step it up in the absence of Demon. Identivez says, you know what? You need someone else in the spotlight? I know how to work that. He shuts it down and shines bright in map number 1.
Shine bright like a diamond, man. Identivez. You know, I called him the face of the team. I know you disagreed with it, or at least, you know, you made your face, but hey, he knows what he's got to do. 46 eliminations is what he needs to do. But again, Elevate, I mean, literally looked like they were in slow motion. Like I was watching the Matrix, but they weren't hitting the shots, man. They were taking them all. That was rough.
Yeah, no, it was rough for him, and I did disagree with Identivez being the face of this team earlier because I just felt like it's been players on this squad who've wanted to be the face of Rebel more than he has. You know, players like Crack and Kardia and Demon beforehand, before he had his blunder. You know, I would have probably considered him that guy, but you know, I will consider Crack and Kardia more of the faces of Rebel at this point of time. You know, Identivez is still a star of Latin America, but being the face of this team, that comes down to performance, consistency, placement. It's a lot that goes into that. Now, he's a star player. Don't get me wrong. You know, we love Identivez, but, you know, as far as the Identivez of old, I still need to see some more.
No, and let me be very clear of what I meant by that, right? I'm just going off the fact that, like, just Identivez legacy, right? Whenever it comes to
his legacy
but by
is big.
No means that I put Identivez as like the top level. Like, it was Demon, it was Crack, it was Kardia. But Identivez definitely wasn't always the top performer. And I don't even think he is still the top performer on Rebel. But in terms of his legacy and who he is, that's why I said he was the face. Because, you know, back when he was picked up, there was a lot of talk and whatever after he left PK. But regardless, I digress. I mean, at least for Control Regency, he was the face. 46 elimination.
Yeah, that
the
was
man was popping off. He was Kardia, too, in his 1v2s. That wasn't the only 1v2 he was put in and just handled his business. I mean, every team fight, Kardia was there. Every team fight, Crack was pulling up. It's just Rebel, well done. I mean, there's not much more to say about it. I mean, Elevate played really bad. Rebel played really good.
No, you're absolutely right, Taylor. And it's as simple as that. Elevate absolutely got outplayed. Every rotation, pretty much every team fight. You know, we saw some little glimpses of greatness here from the side of Elevate, but it wasn't enough consistency there to be able to take down Rebel in that Regency control. Now, if Elevate maybe got off to a better start, because they were in the trenches from the, like, I want to say the first 2-3 hills they were down. So maybe if they got off to a better start, that score line's a little bit closer. But you have to put back that map number 1 and start focusing on tomb execution. Now, when it comes down to being talented execution players, Elevate, they got a good group of them, and I don't think it matters the game. They're gonna know what plays they need to make. If they get first blood, they're gonna know how to take their numbers and turn that into a round win.
Yeah, without question, right? I mean, you're talking about a lot of veterans who competed during the execution days. My only question, not even for Elevate, I think they'll be okay. Tomb, though, I mean, it could be a little bit up in the air and be iffy, but as you said, right, that experience is going to translate over to Tomb, despite it being, you know, a newer map in the rotation. But when it comes down to Rebel, I just don't know where Addvers is going to play, because missing Demon on execution is going to hurt him.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt him a lot. Demon got a lot of their first bloods. He was their power weapon player, and he was a guy who took his fights. You know, he knew what his role was. When he saw an opportunity, he went for it. Now, Rebel still has players like that. You know, they can definitely lean on Identivez and Crack to make those plays for the team. And with Identivez being more in these sniper positions, in these power weapon positions, and that Demon probably wasn't in the past, that's going to make Identivez play better, because you put power weapons in his hands. He want to be that guy who makes a highlight reel. He wants to hit the shot for the fans. He knows the crowd is watching every headshot he gets. So, you know, I think that's going to put a little bit more oomph behind his gameplay if he is going to be in those spots. But Rebel, they do have the personnel to make up for Demon, even though those are some treacherous shoes to field, as we'll say. They got some scary players.
They do have some scary players. They really do. I'm just curious if Identivez stays for the long shot fight, or if he transfers down low for the Torquebo fight. These questions will be answered very shortly. I assume he's going to stay on long shot, because that's something he's been doing literally since the beginning of phase 1, right? So he's very comfortable with that spot. He plays it well. He really does. He's one of the best players in that spot specifically. I would say Detox is also incredible in that spot too. But again, the Torquebo fight is really what sets the pace and sets the precedence for the map. I assume it's going to be Crack and Addvers there, but maybe not. we'll definitely find out how it's going to be. But either way, Crack needs to be the spearhead, right? He needs to be the guy at the tip of the spear going in and picking up those big elims on whoever it might be. For Elevate, I'm not too sure who is going to be playing for the long shot, who's going to be opposite of Identivez, who's going to be opposite of Crack for the Torque. I don't know, but I'll find out the answer shortly. Again, most of the time when I'm watching them play, especially when they were competing in the Challenger Series or even in relegation, they would pick Clock Tower, and then also Checkout would be another map that they would play on. But Tomb, you very rarely saw it with Elevate.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Zenun playing for the snipe, Yogurt playing for the bow, Noxious and Crushmo filling the gap, seeing in the center. At least that's how I will kind of spread those players out based off their skill sets. So, but they're going to have their hands full. Now, when we come on over here towards Tomb, I love Tomb when it comes down towards strategy, because with us having a sniper on one side and a Torque on the other, you are able to focus most of your efforts towards one position. Now, towards mid map, I believe at Tombstone, where the lion statues are that hop over, that is one of the most influential positions on that map, because that player has the option of taking a 2v1 and helping his teammate grab a Torque bow, or taking a 3v2 towards mid map and help his teammates out there on that side. It just really kind of depends on how they play the 1v1 position against from their man. And so, and I still think we don't see a lot of squads really utilize that sniper side of the map enough than what they do beforehand. But we see some teams can lean into it. You know, Detox plays it very, very well by just being aggressive there towards the underpass and always letting his opponents know that you have to focus on me, because I can quick pick this at any time and it's an option for me and my squad. But just giving your team that option and giving your opponent that extra, play to think about, it alleviates pressure on the other side of the map. It doesn't make the play so clear cut. So every single squad needs to have Torque bow strategies and sniper strategies to work around with. And with each lane really starting off in a 1v1, that makes it a lot simpler to really adjust your numbers as the round go on, if you know how to, if you know how to mask your strategy and run a nice initial.
One thing that I would like to see, Detox was not being punished by the mid player, in my opinion. That mid player should have been getting the cross and lancering him out, making him feel more uncomfortable than he really was, even before he got underneath mid bridge. So I would love to see whether it be Elevate or Rebel.
But he got a 1v1 too.
But he did get the 1v1. One thing that Detox does very well that I really appreciate watching from him is he's not shy about throwing that stun early on to get rid of that, or at least stop that player from pursuing him and getting to the 1v1. So he's pretty much unchallenged from that point, and it's really awkward for the guy opposite of Detox, or in this case Identivez, to push in once you're in underbridge, because once you go into the underpass, like, you better expect to take some damage. If you lose the Torque bow fight on the opposite side, you might get stuck from the Torque bow in general, plus you're also going around cover and exposing yourself to maybe getting rap shotted or whatever. So that's my only concern. But shutting down Identivez is going to be big. But if you're saying it's going to be Yogurt, I mean, hey, we'll see what he can do in that moment. But Yogurt and Zenun, the two players that I'm really going to be keeping my eye out for. Yeah,
you should. I think they're going to be working in power weapons, but we'll see if they can make some big plays along the mid map. We'll let you guys know how the 1v1 matchups are looking as well as we're heading on over towards Tomb. Noxious and Yogurt, their former teammate of Strangulate, as you guys know, made this map. So, they get to, every time they get to load up onto this one, get to represent him in the old Synergy squad. Represent. I don't think it gives them a little advantage or anything like that. Maybe they give it a little extra effort when it comes down to playing it. But, just a nice little storyline to talk to you guys about.
Nice little storyline. Storylines, it's all we have, man, as commentators. All right, all we have is storylines. I think there might be a map issue, but we'll see if we get into it relatively soon. If not, we'll pull it back, and then we'll be underway very shortly. No worries, no reason to panic out there. Still, got to ask you, chat, you feeling confident with your Elevate pick? You still feeling good about your Rebel pick? Honestly, I'm not feeling too confident with my Elevate pick, but it really depends on how this execution goes. If it goes well, I'm going to be feeling a little bit better. I'm not going to lie. Not really when it comes to control, but at least better in the sense that maybe they can force a game fight to be all right. Already first blood is down, though. Noxious out of the way. Addvers gets the elimination. Crushmo goes for the pick. Identivez should punish him, and he does. Should Torque bow is at least backpack, if I'm not mistaken. Yogurt goes straight into Crack. I don't know what the plan was there, but Zenun by himself. And he's out of the way. That's a flawless round for Rebel to start round one.
A flawless round indeed. And you will have the duo of Yogurt and Noxious playing there mid map, and Torque is going to be played there by Crushmo. But that's the setup for Elevate. On the flip end, great round here on the side of Rebel. First blood came in from Addvers, and then from there, folks, it was just textbook Gears taking their numbers, angling out the remaining few players there to be able to close that round out. So players 3 and 7, that is Addvers playing for that snipe side of the map. Identivez is down low playing a Torque Bow against Crushmo. And Crushmo from this position is just worried about putting out that damage, making sure he can't get it for free. First blood for Kardia in mid-map. Yogurt goes down as well. So him and Addvers able to work together in that 2v2 fight to lock it all in. But Zenun escaped with the snipe, misses his body shot. Can't miss that shot.
Yeah.
Couldn't take one to the grave, and Crushmo's in the 1v4.
Okay, Crushmo showing some life, but for how long? Takes down one at least, but Lancer from the opposite side, but at least not a team ace this time, but a lot more work needs to be done. One isn't going to cut it when there's still 3 more members you have to deal with. So Rebel, pretty much a flawless 2 rounds in a row.
Yeah, so far so good from Rebel, and their successes came in from mid-map. Being able to angle out Noxious and Yogurt and bully those guys. So we'll see if they can find that winning condition once again in the round. Their teamwork is great down there, but wait, so what I want to see is that who's crumbling there? You know what I'm saying? We see the strategy flip up here from Elevate. Yogurt goes down to help Crushmo, and that is a trade. Beautiful. That's actually a win there for Identivez.
It's a huge win, yeah, bringing that trade, because he was being peppered from both sides. So getting a trade, best scenario, crack the hero.
Nice shot.
Zenun, though, immediately puts the sniper to use, taking down Kardia. Crack will be by himself, going opposite of Crushmo and Zenun, both with a torque bow and a long shot respectively. So not a good spot to be in. At this point for Crushmo and Zenun, play your numbers, playing well. It looks like they're going to rotate off to the side and maybe the overtime hill up top, but do spot Crack. So now Crack having to use the statue, not going to help him out too much. And the first round going to Elevate.
Yeah, good round for them. They needed that to be able to get those power weapons, pick up those kills, and it kind of started off the back of that trade from Identivez. What made it so important is that 3 players were focused on that side of the map to be able to kind of take out Rebel there, and you know it worked out for them. They get the trade, they get the power weapon, the rest of the kills come out in middle, and Rebel just could not really kind of adjust their numbers in time. They went to go help Identivez, but by the end Zenun had already picked up snipe and downs came through. So shot grenades picked up here. Normal start for both these squads, and it is going to be a 2v2 fight at the Torque Bow. First blood going in favor of Elevate. They're looking good so far in this round, Taylor. They're going to be able to find themselves another kill as well, but can they keep the man advantage?
Nice. Well, they do have the man advantage for sure. 2v1. Addvers, though, picks up one through mid. Might have an opportunity to isolate a 1v, but not just yet. Crushmo getting a bit antsy and going forward, but going for the trade with Yogurt. That's the big thing. Addvers trying to bob and weave, unfortunately, will end in a bad way as he's gone tied up 2-2. And those first bloods coming out from Elevate, specifically Yogurt in that round, was absolutely critical. So well done. Maybe they're starting to turn things around.
All right. So far, you know, you can kind of feel Elevate. You can kind of see Elevate picking up that momentum.
Here we go again.
They needed these 2 rounds. We'll see when it comes down towards if they want to run that 2 strategy once again down towards Bow. That's what we're seeing, a 2-2.
All right.
Nice flash from Crushmo. Finds the perfect opportunity to get that Bow uncontested.
Yeah, Rebels got to contest that. I know they're confident in their skill. I mean, they were absolutely dominating Crushmo earlier, but maybe
they couldn't do anything about it.
Spooked.
Now over here towards the mid map, you're going to see that Torque Bow being fought for. Beautiful Torque here from Crushmo. Man advantage here on the side of Elevate as they're going to be starting to look here towards the opposite end. Multiple players getting chased. Should be some free shots for Crushmo. The call is there for the down. And that should be the round there for Elevate. Now, you know, you say that Rebel has to kind of contest that Torque Bow pickup there on that side. And they played a little bit more defensively, but Crushmo saw his man look in a different direction. So he says, this is enough time for me to be able to pick this weapon up on the edge and slide into cover to safety. And that's what he did. So Identivez did not have the tunnel vision that he needed to in that position to stop him from getting Bow. It was defended, It's just that, you know, I feel like Crushmo outplayed him on a pickup.
Bit of a different strategy. Addvers going up top. Now, you said it was underutilized on this side, but Addvers is going to try it. Crushmo will get the bow, but Identivez trying to punish. Can't get away. It seems, though, full, or at least a bit red. Crushmo and Yogurt don't want to let him live or get away with that spot. You already know Addvers is up top as well. Player 3 is going to be in a tough spot. I believe Zenun is about to be pincered in, but player 2 rotates from mid. That's going to be Noxious, who could be the X factor in this fight, but Zenun holds his own, surprisingly. Noxious is now there for the 2v1 onto Kardia, and Zenun picking up a big elimination.
Nice back
underpass,
ace.
but Kardia might even get even bigger eliminations.
Great effort there at the underpass from Kardia, but he loses his life and it's up to Identivez. Great effort there from him. He almost got the stick, but instead it's going to be Yogurt who gets the kill. That's 4 straight rounds for Elevate, and they've came back swinging, Taylor. They're in this series now because we were scared for them after that first map. They look like they started kind of slow, but now they've found a winning strategy here to start picking up some of these rounds.
Yeah, they definitely have, and this is encouraging for Elevate fans out there. You did mention, though, given the experience they had when it comes to execution competitive days, now that it's back into competitive rotation, Elevate feels right at home. And despite Tomb, you know, being a new addition to Gears 5, right? Not a new addition necessarily because it was in the old or in phase 1, but they're adjusting quite well. They've clearly been practicing. I know these boys have been playing in Challenger regardless, so it's nothing new to them, but this round might be a bit different. Yogurt will lose his life early on. It's going to bring it to a 4v3, and Crack gets the torque bow.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a little bit different in favor of the side of Rebel here. 4v3 on the map. Nox is just trying to regroup with a teammate. I don't think he's going to be able to make it back to anyone. He's just going to try to take one to the grave, puts himself in a position and gets some help from the snipe. The down is there, but having to watch his left, Zenun, he's going to have to fully disengage.
Good effort. Good effort from Zenun, yeah. He just couldn't get that finish, unfortunately. Do you think Zenun should have pushed up a little bit more aggressively to help his teammate that was being pressured by Kardia?
He did fine there. Noxious just had to take the fight in open area so he can get help. He did the best as he could, but it was just a pillar there blocking off the help from coming through. That pillar wasn't there. I think Zenun hits a body shot. Maybe we're talking about a different fight there at that point, but in the end, they did the best that they could, being down a man. 2v2 fight at the torque bow, flashes out. Identivez looking to move in and take over. Nice back A from him. He did get stunned off the second flash, but he's not backing up too much. Yogurt takes over. Now Identivez probably regrets that one, but probably not, because he put out enough damage for Crack to get cracking.
Fly with me.
Addvers mid tries to take down Zenun, but doesn't work. He'll pick up the snipe. Kardia now trying to take matters into his own hands. It's now a 1v2. Zenun once again with the snipe. Opposite of more people on the enemy team. It's not going to be an easy fight.
So Crack got the torque bow. Kardia is there as well, but I told you, man, Zenun was the marksman of his team. When you asked me earlier,
you did
say this is the guy you give the snipe to. This is the guy you give the M-bar to if you need it.
I like this angle from Crack, though barely missing the shot. Zenun trying to dip away. Does he get away successfully? He does.
Okay, so far the speed is good for him. The repositioning is there. The pre-fires are there.
Nice
the
shot.
body shots are there. He needs to hit one more pellet. Oh, I thought he did it.
Got him.
Oh my God, almost.
Oh my goodness, he just about did it.
The effort was there. Like the play, the foresight. I love what he was thinking. I was able to see it in his movement. Just that he missed that back A. That was what he needed. He had 2 shots at getting that player down that was flanking him. That happens, he clutches up 100%. He turns that into a 1v1.
All right, so Rebels brought it back to a 4-4. Elevate had that string of rounds where they won 4 in a row, but now Rebel has chained 2 in a row to tie it up. And this next round is going to put one team at map point. Who is it going to be? Well, it's going to be decided pretty much at this fight, but I guess at the other side too. Zenun wins the 1v against Addvers. Long shot in hand already. It's going to be a 4v3. The rest of the Elevate boys, though, backing away from the torque bow for the time being. Zenun rotating down.
If he don't get to that fight,
Identivez gets the torque and a nice shot onto Crack. It's a 4v2.
yeah, Zenun's is going to keep his spacing. He does a great job pre-firing up A's and understanding his opponent's cover, understanding their routes. He goes for the cutoff. Like I said, he knows exactly where to have his crosshair placed, and that's going to be the map well, the 5th round and map point here for the side of Elevate. So far, so good. And Zenun took over that round, getting first blood there on Addvers, and a sniper has been a win condition on the side of Elevate these last few rounds. Playing a little bit more passive at bow, allowing Rebel to come in there and really take over. Well, they can't take over, but they're allowing them to come in there and towards that torque bow and take some real estate, but that's a part of the trap.
Zenun's been doing such a good job fighting for this long shot. This time, though, might be a bit different. Let's see what Kardia does. He throws the stun, misses, but across the map, Crushmo will connect. Zenun now free reign to pick up snipe. 4v3 in business as usual as Elevate looks to close out this map on Tomb 6-4.
Okay, nice torque bow there to kick off this round. Crushmo going big.
Nice.
The setup.
He's nasty. So nasty.
The setup. The torque bow to get the player out of cover. Zenun with his crosshair placed exactly where it needs to be once again. Gets the headshot now with 4v2. The way that these players are grouped up. This ending hill actually may be up top. I see the spread is even more down low. But Noxious, he is looking out for those nades. Making sure no one rotates up top just yet. Oh. I thought that was going to be another headshot. I think it's coming.
It might be. I'm feeling it. I really am. I'm a believer now, Blaze. I believe in Zenun. He's hit some nasty shots. And Addvers has been opposite of Zenun, has been just getting owned every round, it seems.
Yeah, he's playing this one too passively. Zenun wants to scope. But I love how Crushmo moves in, and they're going to work together again and try to get one of these players off this position using both their power weapons. But this heal actually may be in front snipe act. We'll know in 7 seconds.
Yeah, we'll know.
The way that everybody shifted over definitely has to be here.
Ooh, Identivez gets the torque bow. Things could shift in this
In the final 12 seconds. You're right. Yeah. Things could shift.
All right, so the hill just ahead of
York is going to have to push him in that 1v.
Yeah, you can't be passive here. Mere seconds. Zenun's going to be going for the cap. Oh, great shot, though, from Identivez on a Yogurt. Even better shot, though, from Zenun. Addvers can't do anything. Body shot goes in. It's 3v1. Elevate will take the round and the map 6-4, and they will tie up the series 1-1.
Elevate, they says, hey, guys, don't count us out. All right? Yeah. You know, Rebel, they may have been in the league before, but Elevate, they're in the league to stay. One of our newest squads here contending against Rebel. We're all tied up 1-1 in this series, folks. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we got map number 3.
Welcome back, everybody, to day 3 of the Gears Pro League. I'm Taylor Reflections, though, joined by Guy Blaze, and Elevate answers back to tie up the series 1-1. Very well done, Zenun. In my opinion, the MVP for this matchup.
Yeah, Zenun was hitting some great snipes, winning his 1v1 at snipe and really making Rebel feel uncomfortable. Crushmo hit some great torque bowls as well. It was just a great team effort here when it came down to the back portion of the map. And Yogurt and Noxious, they had to adjust in middle because that's why they lost the first 2 rounds. They were getting bullied there in middle by Kardia and Addvers, but they figured out a way how to really just kind of just hold face. And I meant to say they got bullied by Crack and Kardia there towards middle. But they figured it out and they got the round win in their books. So, map win. Now, we're all tied up 1-1 here, folks. We're heading into Escalation on training grounds. And this is the Elevate map pick. So, I don't know which way this one is going to go.
Yeah.
This is, you know, we both picked Elevate to win this one. I think when it comes down to this, I actually want to give Rebel the leg up on this map, but we're going to find out what happens.
Yeah.
It's too close for me to call.
It really is, Blaze, and Elevate, in my opinion, this is a must-win. We've seen how bad the control went on Regency, and 300 to 184 isn't the craziest loss we've seen, but if you go back and you watch that VOD of map number 1, you can see literally every single time we witnessed a big 4v4 headbutt, big 4v4 team fight, Elevate was losing. Rebel was handling their business. They were beating them with ease. I expect Reactor to be just as influential when it comes down to the team fights because, you know, being being able to penetrate on those hills is huge when it comes to Reactor, and you have to win your close quarter fights, which I benefit that of Rebel. So in my opinion, if Elevate doesn't win Training Grounds Escalation, this series is over. Gold map 4. Rebel's going to take it 3-1. But I mean, really, who knows? When it comes to Training Grounds and Elevate isn't a bad team here. I guess the biggest question is, does the new addition of Addvers throw off the Escalation strats that Rebel already had set in stone? Because again, he is the X factor. When they played EU yesterday, it was on on Monday, it was on Vascar. They lost 5-0 and they looked really bad. But that's EU, right? The spring major champions from Escalation specifically. So you can't put those two teams in the same ballpark. And this matchup is totally different than that EU.
Yeah, no, it is totally different. And if I'm not mistaken, I do believe we saw Demon really in that 1v1 spot on Training Grounds for Rebel for the good period of time. Yep. And so with that being said, you throw Addvers over there, you still got your core 3 working the other side of the map with Kardia, Crack, and Identivez in that team fight. So that's not going to change much at all. But they get that support from Addvers, depending on how he wants to play that heaven side of the map at the home hills. He can support the hell out of them up top in those positions and even lock down a hill down low. I feel like Demon may have played that position a little bit more aggressively. Addvers is going to be the total opposite, okay? He's going to be more defensive down there in that spot. And we'll see if that brings more consistency to this map for Rebel. But also on the flip end, when it comes down to Elevate, these boys, they're looking to prove something here today and come out with this victory and get their first win of the league. But we'll see if they can make that happen.
And well said about Addvers. He needs to take that slow approach, in my opinion, because he wasn't winning the 1Vs opposite of that of Zenun just earlier on Tomb. He was losing them pretty consistently almost every single round, and that was without long shot. Anytime they would headbutt and meet head on, Zenun was winning that more often than not. So I don't want to see Addvers take that 1V if it is against Zenun, which it might be, might not be, but if it is against Zenun in the 1V on Bravo, you got to favor Zenun in that spot. So you're right, Blaze. I think they get
Addvers got to fight that though.
But then again, you say you wanted them to maybe be on Heaven, played a little bit more passive and Lancer out for the Overlook fight.
The reason why I say that, okay, I did say that I want him to play consistently at more of a defensive play style, something that he's comfortable with. But if Zenun is pushing him, like if we play this and Zenun is pushing him every single round, you got to hit him in the mouth and say, slow down. Okay.
True.
Like I get you want to be a superstar over here in this 1v1 spot. But then at that point, Addvers needs to flip the switch and he needs to get aggressive and kind of match his energy. And, it's good to have a mixture of both play styles round by round, because when it comes down to our round-based modes of escalation and execution, these players at this level are gathering intel after every single round and they're formulating a strategy. So by the time you get to late game, you know which team was paying attention towards their opponent's tendencies, rather in a team fight or in the 1v1 individual position. So you don't want to play it the same way every single round, but there are some players out there who are just so confident in their position. It doesn't matter what you throw their way. They always have the perfect reaction for what to be able to counter you.
I mean, that's fair, right? I mean, they are proteins for a reason. Addvers is here for a reason, and that's because he could perform well. One of the benefits, though, of Addvers being on Rebel, like I said, the last time he competed, at least in Pro League specifically, was with that Team Queso roster that had Krabby's and Co. on it. They ended up only winning one map, but that was Escalation. Now you're going back into his bread and butter, which is Escalation, right? What's up, Blaze? What are you saying?
They won one map. I just remember what you were talking about.
But
I remember that split.
What I'm saying is Addvers is very familiar with Escalation. Maybe he's not as familiar with Control, and I'm sure he's fine with execution, but maybe not Control as much. But I don't know. They won the Control. I guess the point is
when you mentioned that, I just remembered that team, and that's why I made the face that I made. I said, you're right. That Team Queso roster,
they really did bad, man. This Team Queso roster, though, now apparently, hey, different. I want to see Team Queso finally get a good break. They've been now in Pro League for some time, representing team after team, player after player. So it's about time they get a big break, Blaze.
Yeah, I think it is about that time. And, they got a good roster in their hands, and we're happy to have Team Queso, Team Cheese, and the league split after split. And, I love the roster in which they have this season, and those guys have a nice high ceiling. It just comes down to them getting the reps week in and week out. Exclusive and Sleeper really playing together makes me excited, and I like watching both those players. Also, too, with Rezik and Crystallize being there as well. Two aggressive players gives their team a lot of confidence, a lot of composure, and it's gonna be nice to see Team Queso just kind of ferment over this season. All right.
All right, well, we'll see how this is going to go down. Again, we put a lot of emphasis on Addvers, so we're definitely going to have a magnifying glass on him to see how he's going to perform in that 1v spot. Not as impactful, I guess, on the second half, but it could be if he decides to get froggy and leap and go for the overextension. But Blaze, you did make a great point, right? Addvers is eventually going to have to find a way to hold his own in those 1v spots, because whether it be against Elevate or maybe a tougher opponent of United or Vanquish or, you know, Fire and Ice in the future, you're not going to be able to play passively because the other team is going to be a bit more aggressive, right? They're going to punish you more often than not. So Addvers is going to have to find a balance of passiveness and aggressiveness, and I'm sure he'll be just fine. He is a great player in his own right, and he's been playing competitive for some time, so he's got that experience. He's not going to back down from a fight, but I think we're having some issues with the map, and we'll be getting back up into the map hopefully very shortly, but you know, we'll see how it's going to go down. Speaking of which, I want to take a quick peek at the standings. I want to see how our side station matchup is going, because that was Noble versus Fire and Ice.
Yeah.
And it's
when it
over
comes
to
down
3-0.
to it, yeah, it was a blazing victory for the side of Fire and Ice. After they got 3-0 against Oxygen, no matter who they were playing next was going to get all that heat, okay? All that steam coming off that last series, and that's what happened.
Clearly, Noble's still struggling, man. Noble needs a break too. You know, Noble needs a break as well, man. But for Cells, Morty, Lava, and Mori, it's just something's not going. And I was super excited when they entered from relegation into Pro League, man. It was either relegation or actually maybe the Pro League. I think it was a Pro League qualifier, if I'm not mistaken. They entered in, and
it was last split through. It was last split through the qualifier, and we looked at their roster and was like, oh, okay,
yeah,
you know what kind of squad they're going to
be.
But yeah, we got a lackluster performance last split, and they just really never came together as we wanted them to. You know, we were expecting them to be maybe a more aggressive Noble team than from before that Lava was a part of. You know, you got a talented Slayer in Sales. You know, Lava's a vet. Morty has a lot of experience, and Mori's has been on the come up for a while. He can shoot, but that team together just has not been working out well as some of these others. But hey, they're in the league and they're the 10th best team, but I think this split, they may end up getting relegated because we brought in two more talented teams than Elevate and Team Queso. With those two rosters, those are the matchups I want to see. I want to see Noble play those squads because
that'd be telling.
Yeah, it's going to be really telling because I think those two rosters are going to be a little bit better than 10th place.
Right.
Yeah.
No, 100%. Yeah, I definitely want to see that matchup take place. I don't know when it's going to be. I'll take a look, you know, once we're on a break or whatever, but maybe if it's later. And you know what would be really telling if it's later in Pro League when Noble is trying to avoid relegation, okay? Because if they're at that point where they're trying to avoid relegation, now you got to play against Team Elevate or Team Queso. Things could get very scary. But, you know, every Pro League we have one team that doesn't get a win or gets maybe one win and they get relegated. Noble could very well be that team, in my opinion, because let's not forget, Team Queso's already got a win. All right, Team Queso beat Elevate yesterday. Elevate might get a win tonight, and if they do, hey, they're already going to have one themselves. So in my opinion, I guess if Elevate doesn't win tonight, there's a good chance we see Elevate and Noble in contention to be relegated, because I think Team Queso is going to surprise a lot of people. Oxygen isn't going to be anywhere close to being relegated either with the way they've been performing. So things are going to shake up towards the bottom and the top.
Yeah, they're going to shake up a lot. And I would love to see some teams down there at the bottom with 2 to 3 wins. And if we see that, that just means that our league was close when it came down, when the game came down to it, because those bottom squads, either one win or no win, they just been getting outmatched during the entire split when it comes down towards the rest of our squads. But I think this split's going to be a little bit different. Everybody has the option of coming out with at least one win here, okay? I think Noble... Everybody could. Noble can beat Queso and Elevate 100%, and they could beat Noble. But they just got to come out and win. I don't know what's going on with Noble, but it's a matchup game for them.
Yeah, I guess it is at that point, huh? I mean, I was excited to watch them. I really was. But I mean, they did avoid relegation once. Maybe they can do the same. But if you're only playing to avoid relegation, you know, are you really going to be able to make a big impact in Pro League? I don't know. But they're here for a
Ooh,
reason. You know, I
you're
digress.
right.
They are here for a reason. We'll see what they can do. After all, Noble's not even playing. Well, they did play on a side station. That's the only reason why we're discussing them. But they do suffer that 3-0 loss to Fire and Ice, which is Fire and Ice's first victory in Pro League. I think this was their first matchup. No, they played yesterday. Excuse me. So, which they lost. They lost the VQs. So they're 1-2 currently, which is a far cry from where they were before. But they did have a pretty tough start, I think, at the beginning, right, against Oxygen and that of VQ. But Rebel and Elevate hopefully will be starting up very shortly. We're still waiting on some official ruling as to what's going on. But once they do get going, I think Addvers is back in the lobby. So hopefully they'll be starting back up very shortly. I guess Addvers having some issues of his own. So fair enough. But as we talked about it, we don't know a lot when it comes to Elevate on TG. Maybe they will perform well. I have to go back in my notes when they were playing and competing during the Challenger Series as well as relegation. But for Rebel on TG, I think they'll be just fine. But again, the story goes to that of Addvers. But then again, it also goes to, as I was saying before, when we're going into Regency control, watching those team fights, the Overlook fight should benefit Rebel with how well they were playing earlier.
Yeah, and when it comes down to Rebels Core 3, they've been playing that fight for a while. So they got a lot of reps on that side of the map, and Addvers really just has to plug in the gap in a 1v1 position on the opposite end. I'm not sure who's going to be an Elevate's team fight when it comes down to that side of the map. Actually, I think Yogurt may be in a 1v1 position on the opposite end. We'll find out when the map kicks off, but it's really going to come down to the 3v3 fight at Overlook. Who's going to be more dominant? Who's going to set precedence? And which one of these front spawns are going to set the pace of this map? So we'll see what happens there when we get towards that engagement. But you know, this is a must win for Elevate because I'm not sure about them when it comes down towards the district control, Taylor.
Yeah, district control is going to be rough. I mean, that was one of the things I was saying. You know, this is a must win, in my opinion, from Elevate. If Elevate loses this map, I do not see them moving forward to game 5. I expect Rebel to wrap up Reactor control, and that's just going to be GG for a 3-1 victory for the boys of Rebel. So they need to play at an all-time peak here. Zenun getting caught up in the corner. He'll be finished off. Crushmo choosing to kind of retreat, space it out, but he's going to be finished off himself. And we talked about Rebel and their ability. You mentioned the core 3, right? They're comfortable with this fight. They've been fighting this fight since really at the start of this roster, and it seems as if it has paid off. But Noxious trying to go superhuman and just nearly does.
Yeah, he tried to go Super Saiyan there. Great effort, but he takes one to the grave. Crack goes down. Crushmo off this respawn, just trying to save the heal, but it's not much you can do. Player 2 has the heaven position, crossing all these Elevate members in the back, and their only play is to get towards that back lane and push out Crack. They need to get past the Lancer Fire. The revive doesn't come through, but Noxious did get past that Lancer Fire, and the stun saved the round. Beautiful stuns. The kills are there. Elevate, well, now they just need to press forward.
When you say press forward, they're going to have to press forward. They're down quite a bit, nearly, actually more than double that of Rebel at this point. Identivez in that God spot's not going to make the life easy for Yogurt. Yogurt, no way he can know he's over there. And, getting challenged with a bot walk from Crushmo. Catches Identivez off guard. Short-lived, though, but either way, Elevate does go for the OE, and they have the 2-1. But I don't even think the win condition.
Flash out!
Now, here comes Rebel, knowing that they need to get their home hill back. This is a must-win fight for them, and they're taking their time with it. Identivez is able to get it down. Both kills come through, and now Rebel gets to get their footing back. They're going to take over Overlook. Now, these other 2 members here of Elevate, Secret Man and towards mid-map, there's Yogurt, because they didn't get the decap at B, so the entire time they were just kind of playing for the rotation, but Yogurt gets caught out. He takes a beeline there towards the hill. And now his team is going to get staggered out as Rebel. They will be set up with the Overlook and the B hill.
Noxious going to drop off. Got a bit of a stare off between Zenun and I believe Kardia. And Kardia reads that situation properly. That's the 2-1 back, and that's going to be GG for Elevate in round number 1. But you mentioned that stun, saving Elevate, allowing them to push forward. But a good response from Identivez in the corner to take down Yogurt. Even though he gets bot walked on, Kardia had a good read in mid and was able to recover quickly. Once Rebel came off the respawn, they took their home hill back, kept the 2-1, and therefore the win condition, ultimately the round. So well played from Rebel. Elevate, they stay alive, but unfortunately couldn't thrive.
All right, so Elevate, they just need to get off to a better start this round. Like you said, they survived, but they did not find an opportunity to thrive throughout it. Looking at the placements, we're seeing something standard so far to kick this one off. Botox, possibly shot grenades in the next 2 rounds. We'll see if anyone feels like they need to put a center line power weapon if they lose control of this map after 3. But that'll still be early on in the map. Here we go. We got Kardia and Identivez working this side of the map. And it's going to be Noxious, Crushmo, and Zenun here as well. Zenun at the forefront of the fight, stunned, but does not budge. And he moves at the right time, but he gets stunned out by Kardia. And here's the rebuttal. Crushmo can't get the kill. And that's going to be a team fight win there from Rebel. Good support fire coming across from Addvers in that positioning. And this is the defensive play in which I was talking about. Stay alive, support your teammates,
Nice.
Take the fights in which you want. He'll be able to take one to the grave, and that's going to equate to a trip cap domination, possibly. But the round will be survived here by Elevate.
Crack, though, still at the forefront. Once that fell, goes for... Wow, what a bold push. And Crack picks up both. And now he's immediately going to be back on A with the bolt talk. Noxious opposite of him. And this is going to be a tough spot to hold. But granted, he has some help now from the flank. That's going to be Addvers lancering out and Crack the hero for round 2. That push was bold, Blaze.
Yeah, it was bold, but he knew he can get away with it. He knew he had support, and with the lead that they had in that round, it was get in, get your kills, and as long as you could put some pressure in there, you distract 1 or 2 players, at least one of your teammates is going to be moving forward at some point to get to you. So good round there by Rebel to get the first 2. We did see them take that first 2 in execution, and they started losing everything right after that. So another good start. We need them to hold it. We need them to hold the advantage in which they have now. And we are gonna see the switch up in weapon strategy. The twerk ball goes down bottom mid, and that's just gonna open the door for Elevate strat book.
All right, let's go. Yep, torque bow up. As you said, Elevate. Is this going to be the change that they needed? It's obviously the change they wanted, but it's all about executing. But Crack feels safe to go down, but Noxious getting a Lancer fire. Identivez gets the pickup. You got 3 or 2 members down there now trapped. Zenun in a 1v versus Kardia, who's pushed up to him. Identivez gets away with the torque bow. It's going to make Zenun's spot very important, but now he's going to be in a 1v2. Chooses to dip out, does get away momentarily, but even so, Kardia, Identivez hot on his heels, brother, and the overextension is in. And Rebel now having to double back because Elevate took over the neutral, but Identivez with the torque bow, he's going to be the X factor here.
Yeah, get some splash damage with that one. Knows a player is over the top, but knowing Identivez, he's gonna drop he's gonna drop one over the top as he's looking for it. He doesn't want to do it just yet. Ain't gonna be able to find a shot, but Crack will be able to take out Yogurt from the God spot, and Identivez can cover him. They need to get this B hill. So far, it's been defended very, very well on the side of Elevate. They had 2 downs. Crack can't get revived. He's gonna have to actually take his own life because the defense is so strong with just the 2 Lancers.
Well, Addvers is back in. Noxious is down. Charlie's still in the hands of Elevate. They do have a decent lead here, so this is important for Rebel to take it. And a great shot from Heaven. Zenun will fall in that moment, and you got a player backing up. That's going to be player 8, Yogurt, as he goes to take over the Heaven spot for himself. And one more bolt still in Identiv's hands. The 2-1 to Rebel does give them the win condition, and Yogurt finds a bit of an angle on Addvers, but he'll be all right for the time being. And Rebel off the respawn look as if they're going to be traveling to the overlook spot, as they might want to go for the overextension. And Elevate's going to have to make some moves. They do have some time, though, but not that much. Where's the play going to be, Blaze? It seems maybe a split push at this point for A and B.
Yeah, that's what's looking like a 2-2. Player 6 is going to support his teammates down low. If things don't work out, he'll start supporting player 5. But as we see, player 5 is grouping down low. This is going to be a 4-man hit towards B. I don't agree with the play. I believe that you have to apply pressure on multiple different heals at once, but, and yeah, it seemed like that was it because it was too clear for Rebel. Like, they saw the push coming a mile away. Once they was able to identify the 4th player in the fight being Zenun, it was just nothing but comms, focus fire, and Rebel coming away with that round. So good job to them. Now, if you go back and say what could Elevate have done better there, Zenun had to push the 1v1 at the home hill. That was it. He had to get that player's attention, let his teammates fight the 3v3 on the opposite end, and if they lose that fight, the player from host spot being Addvers, not host spot, but Overlook being Addvers could turn around and help Zenun in that engagement as well. But you look at the best teams out there that we have in our league, and we always use United as an example, especially when it comes down to escalation. Over these years, anytime they had to make a perfect play, they pushed multiple lanes at once. They had at least two lanes with players in them at all times to apply pressure to their opponent to not make the perfect play so easily readable.
A frag grenade on range, does that give enough change on the map? Maybe, but I do agree with at least placing something center line. Noxious wanted to maybe tempt it, going for the retro instead of the Boltok, but honestly, it's a bit too late for that, isn't it? Because you already placed a torque bow down. It didn't change anything. Giving you a retro isn't going to have an impact either. So maybe the frags help. And Yogurt is there, and if he picks up frags, he can throw them in, and this is going to be the danger spot for these two players on Rebel. But a nade never comes through, and Identivez might get out with the torque once again.
Kardia does. Oh no, Identivez went for the shot. I don't blame him for going for that, but he just messed up his movement and couldn't perform it the way that he needed to, and he will protect the torque bow and get out. Yeah, those nades never came through to be able to get those players there towards middle, but you still want to be building up your secondaries. Missed torque bow shot there from Identivez. That would have been huge to be able to lock in that home hill for a squad and get them in on B for the trip cap domination. They still may be able to do just that, though, because the kills fall through. The torque bow and the power weapons is there.
Crack. Oh, good shots in the Yogurt. He had the help from Identivez from the flank. Identivez, though, unfortunately meets his match down low, but Crack should keep him in check. Go for the splash damage. That's going to be an elimination on Crushmo. Domination coming into effect. Is this the 4-0? Not just yet. Zenun will get the touch. He was off of respawn. He'll handle his business against Kardia, so Elevate will stay alive. And quite honestly, not the worst spot for Elevate to be in. Yeah, they don't have map control. They're going to have to sprint across and try to go for the 2-1. Maybe the OE is going to be at hand, but regardless, though, it's not like they're down a massive number of points, so they can still take their time and figure out their next play. They don't have to be desperate.
Yeah, and they need to honestly assess that and say, hey guys, take a breather, figure out which routes we want to cover, where's our fight, let's count numbers. If they've identified a player in God spot, they know they have 3 at B, but they're going to send 2 across towards the home hill. Missed shot there from Zenun. Yogurt gets taken out, and they had to run through that shot grenade, and they got cut off. The play went downhill from there.
Crushmo needs this hill, but I don't think he's going to get it. He might get it for a short period of time, but he's getting crossed out from literally every single angle. Identivez finally gets the final shot. Rebel will recover and take B for themselves. Now Elevate has to get desperate. They've got to try and make a move and make a play. I believe Yogurt's tempting it, maybe going for the torque, but I think Crack picked it up just a little bit earlier, so it's not going to be an option. Domination attempt once again. Yogurt's mid-map. He's not going to be to any contest. Crushmo's pushing into a Boltok. Denza's missing his shots, though. Either way, it looks like this is going to be a wrap. Elevate's coming off the respawn. They got to get on all hills. Not going to be able to, and Rebel takes a 4-0 lead, and they're looking to close out this map definitively 5-0.
Yeah, so far it's been a dominant start here from Rebel, you guys. They are the better escalation team here. You look at the kills and the scoreboard, and that tells it all. 16, what is it? It was 27 kills in total here for the top 2 fraggers on the side of Rebel. Identivez, and I think that's Crack right behind them. They're absolutely slaying now, but
they have 27?
Yeah, between the two.
Yo,
and then you look at the bottom here of Elevate, I think it's Crushmo here with 4. Yeah.
Oh my. Yo, that's
so
very
Identivez
telling.
and Crack at the top slaying out. And then you got you got 25 assists between Kardia and Addvers. That's what I'm expecting here from this team comp. Kardia and Addvers have a similar play style, and with Demon being off the team, Identivez has to play with this type of confidence. He has to be top frag in every single map for this Rebel squad to survive. And if he wants to be the hero for his team, if he wants to rise to the occasion as he's done in the past season, then do just that. And so I'm happy to see it. The Rebel team comp is coming together real nice. But you're gonna have to see some Slayers here rise up on the side of Elevate. And I'm looking at Crushmo and Yogurt to do that.
If Zenun falls here, that's going to be 45 deaths onto the side of Elevate. 45. And there's Crushmo gone. Zenun follows. So now that's 46 deaths on the side of Elevate. Now, we talk about dropping 50 bombs, right? And that would be impressive on control, but there's nothing impressive about dropping a 50 death game. And at this point, that's going to be 47. I don't think they're going to have a chance to get to 50 because at this point, the frags are going to be thrown out. The domination's coming through. Crushmo's in. That's going to be another pickup. Maybe they will hit that 50 mark. They're going to be close. I think that's 49, but I guess the big thing to pay, that should be 50 actually with the chainsaw. The big thing to take a look at, man, is that 5-0. Not even close.
That's the only
Elevate.
50. That's the only 50 we need to look at right there.
Yep.
5-0. Okay. Rebel absolutely dominated Elevate here in map number 3, you guys. It was... They weren't even contested at all. And you even had another player rise up there to double digits during that round as well. So congrats to Rebel taking map number 3. They have a 2-1 lead in this series. So far, so good for them. And we got to go on over towards district control next. But, you know, before we get ahead of ourselves here, you know, looking back here on this escalation, Elevate needed to win their initials, man. You know, you go back to the beginning of those team fights. They didn't have anyone to match the slaying power of Identivez and Crack in those engagements.
Correct.
They didn't have the support fight coming across the map that they needed an Overlook to win those fights as well. And they just got outmatched every single round. Even if they do win those, I don't know if their defensive setups would have even been strong enough there to even stop Rebel off the retake.
No, because they would get the 2-1 at times. There was a couple of rounds where they had the 2-1 off the overextension, and defensively they were ran through. Actually, you know what? No, it's not even just a couple of times. There were several times Elevate had the defensive setup, but they just weren't able to make it happen. I think more so they were always in damage control, Blaze, you know, trying to come back from the damage Rebel had, you know, kind of impacted them.
Yeah, since their rotations was weak, ultimately their retakes were weak, and you know, and then their defensive setups were weak as well. Like that twerk bow,
oh, that was great. I mean, that was so crisp. Like
it really
just
was.
literally pixel perfect. Literally pixel perfect. I do want to ask you though, the nades. Like, was the nades enough? Because I mean, granted, I don't think there's anything Elevate could have done here. Just quite honestly, they had 50 deaths across the board by the time it was over with. It was a 5-0. Rebel wins this, in my opinion, no matter what Elevate places on the map. But the nades on B, I mean, would you have rather seen something maybe on Overlook? Would you have rather seen maybe a more impact, like a drop shot or an M-bar placed?
Nah, you know, I'm completely fine with the nades being placed there. It gives you another option at being able to defend that torque bow or whatever power weapon it gets placed there towards the center line. And if you don't want to go take that headbutt fight and, you know, you got a shot grenade to trap those players in there, you win your fight at the B hill at the range, you get the nades, you toss them in, 2 free kills. But it's all about the exit frags and preventing that torque bow from getting picked up. Now, Elevate still was not able to do that. Those nades were defended. But, you know, it was a great effort. It just wasn't executed well.
Yeah, well, we head into Reactor control. It's obviously close quarter fights are going to be imperative here, Blaze. And Rebel's been slaying out.
Reactor control. I thought it was district.
Yeah, it's going to be Reactor control, which is even worse in my opinion for Elevate because they're not winning their fights, they're not winning their engagements, and also the torque bow has been playing a massive impact when it comes to Identivez. And if he gets his hand on it, my goodness, he's connecting clearly. And there's a torque bow on Reactor, so all things are shaping up to look really bad for Elevate. And that was the narrative we started, right? I mean, we talked about execution. They won that tomb execution. Great. They needed that, but they also needed escalation training grounds. So if they were, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, it would be a complete 180 if Elevate wins this Reactor control because there's no indication that they should win it. They've been getting outslayed on escalation. They got outslayed in the team fights on control. So there's nothing that indicates that they're going to change any of their outcome whenever it comes to Reactor control, at least in my mind, unless I'm missing something.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head here. Looking at their respawn maps and looking at the escalation looking at the escalation of control, I have not seen someone step up and get the slaying done that they need to match the energy of Rebel, Crack, and Identivez. Those are the fights in which you have to win. Whenever you see those character models on the map, you got to punch them in the mouth. You win those battles, you can start building up momentum and force Kardia and Addvers to kind of put those lances away and get into those 1v1s and make some desperate plays because the Slayers are getting outslayed. At some point, they're going to feel like they have to pick up the slack. And that's when you catch them off guard. In the midst of that chaos, that's when Rebel can get control of this series. But if they're not winning those battles, then this is not going to slow down whatsoever. And Rebel is going to absolutely just stomp all over Elevate when it comes down to this map.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Reactor, I was looking at the stats from Phase 1, and some of the most severe wins or the greatest wins Rebel was able to get was on Reactor specifically. Now, granted, take into account Demon no longer with the roster. It's now Addvers. Demon would slay out tremendously when it came to Reactor specifically. But again, some of their biggest wins, that includes E United in the beginning of the phase when they were playing incredibly well. They were able to beat them on Reactor. Digital Gaming, they had a victory against them. I go down the list. You know, they beat Oxygen. Oxygen, we've already seen as an incredible control team, really an all-round team at this point. They did suffer one Reactor loss, and that was 300 to 247 versus Fire and Ice. But that was also Overdose was subbing in for one of the, I believe, Identivez, if I'm not mistaken. So take that for what it's worth. But Fire and Ice also had
Are we sure it was
Overdose? You know, but you know, Overdose was hey, he was playing very well. You know, and
he
Overdose
was playing well.
You know, and
but those spy players, you got to watch out for them. Sometimes they not who they are.
Stop. Hey, now, jeez, you're so right. I mean, but hey, you're right.
Spy kids out here, man.
But you know what? Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah, that was a really poor example, wasn't it? You know what? They totally hit me in the face, man. You're right, Blaze.
No, it was cool. It was great. I was just taking jabs, man. I'm be honest with you. I didn't get one on Spy yet. I got one on Demon, but I didn't take my jab at Spy yet, so I had to get that one. And
it was Overdose. It was Overdose, the main offender. So you're right. Who knows who it was at that point in time? But Demon did play that week, at least when they played against Fire and Ice. So maybe it was really Overdose. But I digress. That's all news, I guess, at this point. But yeah, Reactor control. It's not going to be an easy one. You said no one's been stepping up on Elevate, right? Who do you expect to step up? Who should have already stepped up by this point?
Honestly, when it comes down to Slayers on this team, I look at Yogurt and Crushmo to be those main guys to really get the job done in that slaying category and have some consistency there. Now, but I think that this Elevate team is relying on Zenun to do that on some of these maps. He is playing those front spawns for his team, and he has to go in there and get those first bloods and set the pace. But I never considered that a part of his play style. I do know that when I guess, saw him last, at the beginning of Gears 5 or towards the back end of Gears of War 4, he did start to play a little bit more aggressively and become more of a slayer for the squad in which he played for. But that was never traditionally his role. He was a great power weapon player, and he was a great flex player. But as far as a dominant front spawn slayer that I feel like this Elevate team needs, someone who is just a killer, I don't know who is going to be out of them for. You know, Noxious could go to that position, but I think he is more valuable with just his base weapons, you know, pistol, lancer, shotgun, and let him support the team. Let him fill the gaps in and let him be on comms, okay? That's what you want him to do across the map. You don't need him on the front spawn and having power weapons. Somebody else needs to really own those roles for this squad. And so I look for Yogurt to be the main slayer for this team, if he can be.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I really don't. Like I said, I mean, at this point in time, if we do go to a game 5, I'm going to be completely shocked. But Elevate, I don't know if anything changed from that Regency control. We'll find out very shortly. But when it comes to control in general, Reactor is one of the top matchups for the boys of Rebel. But I think there's going to be a little bit of a slight issue. They might start it back up. But if not, that's all right. That's all right. We'll fill in. Chat, I gotta understand why do you guys keep calling me Colin? I don't get it. Like, I've been called Colin.
Why are they calling you Colin?
I don't know. I'm not Colin. I'm Taylor. I'm Taylor Noble. Colin is a beautiful man in his own right. But why are we? Have I been talking about food tonight? Or I mean, I know I'm.
If they're calling you Colin, I might as well be Jacob. Okay, so
yo, what?
I might as well be if they're calling you Colin.
I mean, they call you Azuna. I don't even know if they know your name is Blaze at this point.
I'm trying to say it's that much of an opposite. I'm trying to say you and Colin are that much of night and day, as well as me and PR being night and day.
I mean, I guess I could put on the country accent, but I mean, after all, let's talk about North. Stop. Let me stop.
That was good.
I'm not Colin. I'm not Colin. All right. I'm Taylor, but hey, it's all good, man. And that's Blaze or Azuna. I mean, we still have to get Azuna here, man. When we got to talk to Jacob about that. Jacob's got to give us the hookup, man. You know, boys
we're gonna have to probably bribe him. I don't know what we need to do for Jacob to get that, but You know, maybe you guys just need to go sub to his stream. Okay, maybe you sub. Maybe he gets like 1,000 subs. We can get Ozuna here. Who knows? I don't know.
Hold up. Now, hold up. I will reach out to Ozuna myself if I get 1,000 subs. Let's be,
right?
let's be, you would too. I know you would too, brother.
I would, but Jacob got the pull. He got him on speed dial. He be like, yo, oh, what's up? Oh, you on set? Oh, man, you know, we just got this thing coming up.
Yo, we talked about slaying out. Talk about slaying out. Noxious just opens it up wide. Yogurt even gets it down on the crack, and Crushmo will get the pickup and elevate. A very successful start. They also have the shock the boot. Zenun will get the frags, and Yogurt gets the torque bow. This is literally the most flawless start you could ever ask for.
Damn near. Damn near, man. Especially with these 2 kills coming through. The support fire is going to be in as well. No more power weapons on the map for their opponent. Pork bow in the hands of Yogurt. Maybe 1 nade left in the hands of Zenun. But as far as this start goes, Taylor, damn near flawless for both these squads. 16 seconds left of scrap time. We're going to have Rebel already surrounded around this next hill. But we'll see if the boys of Elevate can get across map and get set up in time.
All right, Crushmo going through mid now. Zenun picks up 2, does get Noxious, but still, though, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. That's all right. Yogurt, good shot out to Identivez, but he's going to get crossed out from Zenun, and great teamwork from Elevate. They literally are making the dream work. I might have to retract my statement at this point. Shock is thrown out to block the right lane. That gets to knock on 1. Either way, Rebel's going to be forced up 1 choke point, but that 1 choke point very successful at this time, and Yogurt still staying on his own 2 feet. He's got the cross, just nearly clutches up in that moment. But does he give enough time for Noxious? No, not in the time, and Rebel gets their first successful break.
Yeah, good job to Rebel right there, but we'll see if they can get back in. So far in this map, what Elevate has been doing that I don't think they've done before, they've been fighting together a little bit better. You know, Regency was a big spread out map. They got staggered a lot. We didn't see them come together as a unit on TG. Escalation, but now look at the Lancers out towards the back lines, double downs. They're shooting together as a unit, and that's a beautiful team wipe for the side of Elevate, as they're going to start locking in the rest of the time towards this hill, and they can actually get some players to rotate over towards next as well, which player 1 is going to get into that engagement first.
Torque bow picked up from Yogurt. Second torque bow in the hands of Elevate. They're doing everything they need to do correctly. But it's all about stamina, right, Blaze? Something you kind of alluded to in the beginning. Once control was added, I don't know if you can shoot through that. Maybe you can catch a pixel off. You can, so a good attempt from Yogurt, at least keeping that pressure on. I think 3 more still remains to his name. I don't know who he's going to be firing it at this point, but Rebel, though, suffering a 30-point deficit. Next hill's coming into play, and it's imperative Yogurt gets some of these crosses. Great shot from Noxious.
Yeah, he's not getting no splash damage, but he is getting the call-outs for his team, and they get 2 quick kills. Crushmo needs to stay alive as long as he can towards the back of the spawn. I think he will be able to, he will lose that gunfight, and the rotations are here for Elevate. 3 players in the hill, but now getting pressure by 4 members of Rebel. They got 2 doors to watch. The shot cuts, the flash stuns off 1. 2 players make it through. The nade in hand takes out him and his teammate. And Yogurt finds the last member.
That's the second nade we've seen now get 2 of the enemy members and then 1 of the teammates, man. I don't know what's going on with this map, but it's wild. Crushmo trying to be sneaky and hits the shot, but not going to be in. Whoa, Crushmo trips on his own shoelaces and he'll get dropped. Zenun can't get there in time either, so we'll switch on board with Noxious, who's also finished off in Yogurt with the frags, throws him out. This is a perfect hill to do it, but Rebel too wise for that. They won't stay put and be taken down by a nade. So Yogurt's gonna get pressure 2v1, and Rebel, good hold.
Yeah, good hold for Rebel. They're dealing with scrap time now, and since Elevate built up such a nice lead to kick this map off, they have to play off of that. That means that they need to rotate early to next, and that's gonna be at the top portion of the map. At the center, you're gonna have 3 members of Rebel already lined up. Sneaky play here for Identivez. He chose the right time to engage, caught Zenun off guard, timed it perfectly for his teammates to get in, and they will find these last 4. Oh, he all thought he was going to hit it. They find 3 members, but they do got their eyes on a 4th. Ultimately, even if these revives come through, it's still a beautiful setup here on the side. of Rebel.
Good shot from Identivez. Yogurt picks up the fresh nades, and Rebel coming back, Blaze. So Elevate still okay, though. Couple of shaky hills, but it's still very early in the map in general. But again, Identivez, we've seen what he can do with the torque, and Crushmo nearly backs up into his entire roster. That could have been devastating, but they're going to be all right. That's a lot of ground and open space, so that smoke was imperative, but the marks are in, so it's not going to be a free rotate in. But either way, Elevate can't waste any time, but that's a
nice
great
shot.
Great shot.
Yeah, blocks off the right lane. They get one. They work together for two. Trying to take a quick 2v1 for the third. They're able to do that, and Crushmo can't get into the fight in time. So off of the back of his heel, Rebel, they're back in this game. And if I'm on the side of Elevate, this is an early rotate, and they're going to be set up. They spawn at the cog spawn, and they're going to shift down low. But they're in between multiple members here on the side of Rebel, and they need to use this buddy system and slay out. What a back A from Identivez.
Yeah, Identivez has been playing out of his mind, man. Identivez has been playing so incredibly well, and he knows he needs to, right? Him and Crack need to carry the team. So Rebel, despite an early deficit, they have come back. They lead by a point, still not enough to be comfortable with. And Zenun hits a great shot. Another good shot come from Kardia. Well, actually, not at all. Kardia will take down Identivez with that one. Crack will also finish off and Elevate finally, after a shaky, 2 hills in quick concession, finally be able to lock this one in and start garnering a lead once again.
All right, now Elevate, they're right where they want to be. They got the marks out. They see the spawn of Rebel, and they are doing a great job holding them back. Zenun gets caught out in the open with not enough support. Noxious, this is a great disengage because he does not want to get caught out another 2v1. Even better shot over the cover. He fights back, alleviates pressure. Now he's trying to apply it.
Okay, nades are also in Zenun's hands. I believe he's literally flawless on the pickups plays when it comes to the nades, and he's been using them quite well. This is a great opportunity. Rebel just on the outskirts, forcing him to rotate out. Identivez should fall, but he doesn't. That would have been such a major down, given the fact he has the torque bow in hand. Addvers gets away too, and this was a flawless hill from Elevate. They're going to get near the 200-point mark by the time it's done with.
Yeah, one of the best times for you to toss a nade is when somebody is charging that torque bow, because their movement's a little bit slower, and they're going to be forced to shoot that shot as well. Great defensive hold here on the side of Elevate to keep that lead in their favor. I don't think Rebel even touched the hill one time, but Rebel with this early rotate and power weapons in hand, 3v3 on the map. One more torque bow left for Identivez, and active was missed. Actually, it's not missed. He got some splash damage there. Actually, a whole kill. I thought it went on the ground, but the revive comes in, and Rebel will hold the line.
Well, the line indeed, and this is going to be great for them. Just 50 points away from tying it up. If they can do so, it's going to make this final rotations of zones that much more interesting. Great movement from Kardia. Gets one. Identivez moves in onto the backside of a couple. Snubfire's not going to make Yogurt's life any easier. He'll continue to close that gap, not allowing Elevate to breathe. The pressure is real. And even if Elevate breaks from this spot, you got a couple players on their last down. Plus, they've got a big, really late ahead
this is where
them.
you can't be. This is where somebody just needs to head down and get the hell out of that corner. Now, they will be able to get a kill. This is where the wolf packing strategy is reign supreme. You get yourself out of a difficult spot, be close enough for those revives. But the boys of Rebel never can get out. Yogurt will spawn on the opposite end of the map, and at this moment, we'll say, hey, guys, we just need to split up, spread out, set up for next. They're only going to be down by about 10 points or so, if that. Rebel's going to choose not to get the scrap time at all, so we're at a tie game, folks. Rebel playing for some kills here as they're starting to rotate towards next. They need to be careful of Identivez in the mid-map with that Lancer fire.
Yogurt picks up the nade, so this time not Zenun, but still, it's going to have the same effect. He eats him out there. Crack, though, is going to challenge and take him down in the nades. Both of them do not connect, and Identivez gets the fresh torque.
Yeah, that can't happen, man, especially if you're Elevate. They was able to get set up early. They had the nades. Their setup just was not good enough for them to succeed, and they got to hit some shots there. But Rebel, they're not lacking when it comes down to the shot hitting. And picking up 2 kills there, they're already in new. The torque bow in hand, and Identivez giving out all the call outs that they need. Rebel is in full control.
Good shot from Identivez cross map. Crack trying to sneak up behind a player. He'll be sniffed out. Actually,
what a shot.
Oh man, yeah, picture perfect. It's going to bring Kardia down relatively low. Kardia wins that surprisingly, and Rebel continues to win these team fights, much like they were doing on Regency, but looks like Elevate does get a little bit of a break.
Elevate wins these gunfights, and they get all the time in his hill. It should be close to a tie game. That's exactly what they need here in this moment. So they're going to have to worry about these new power weapons coming up. Maybe get at least past the 200 mark when it comes down to that scrap time. Hell, I'll even take it all the way up to 210. But they're gonna worry. They're gonna put themselves in position first. It's just a little bit of few extra seconds. You want to be there for the fight, but they're giving these players at the top end of the map time to rotate as well.
Yeah, these hills can be punishing, and like you said, giving them time to rotate because it takes, I believe, at 1.5 instead of 1 if you were in it. So with next being up, we're going to see a mad dash over there. You have to favor maybe Rebel in this spot.
That was a bad way that they took that fight there. And then, you know, being there for each other on the revives, they were just off sync when it came down to it. But luckily for them, they got the torque ball off the respawn. They still got a lot of util to work with. Where they place this shot grenade is going to be very important, Taylor. They put it towards the back stairs. They force all these players out into the right, to the crosshairs of the torque bow, but a smoke comes in from Rebel. I love that counter. He can't see through the hill. He needs to put this one on the ground. Does not connect with anybody. 2 torque bows left for Zenun to make a play.
Got to put it on the right side, and unfortunately doesn't get any splash damage. Once again, only one more. I have no idea. You got to go and isolate Kardia. And again, not another hit marker. And that torque bow that should have been so valuable now gone. And now when you're pushing up, now you don't have the splash damage. You don't have the extra added, torque bow. And you're going against constant just cover fire. Lancer fire, snub fire. Identivez finds an opportunity, gets a kill. Yogurt will fall, pick back up quickly. Elevate finally getting a break, maybe. But Kardia is unrelenting. And it's a snub battle. Noxious relatively weak. And he's getting pincered in between him and Addvers. But does Noxious do this in this moment? But he doesn't. Addvers wins the fight. Zenun's there. But the biggest takeaway from this hill blaze is the fact that not only is Addvers clutching up, but Elevate was on the outskirts, not even contesting for the longest time, and that put Rebel at 255, and Addvers is unstoppable.
Is he gonna get another one? The way he playing, he's just gonna rotate for next. That's 3 1v1s being one for Addvers. And I can just imagine what he's saying on the comms as his team's rotating there, picking up power weapons. They missed one nade, but that second nade got to at least get one, right? It does not.
Think so. Jeez.
That's what we would have thought. Elevate pushes through. They get this set up, and it's anyone's game, folks.
It is. It is anyone's game despite Addvers, heroics and that last hill going so well for Rebel. It doesn't mean that they're out of the woods just yet. They still have to close out 45 points, and we've seen teams lose and really waste away tremendous leads. I like the spacing from Yogurt. If he can just get a couple of Lancer shots here, maybe Crushmo can capitalize, but Identivez once again gets that
he's doing
bow.
Too much. He has to hold his positioning. If he does not hold his positioning like he holds it, his team has all the cross in the world, but he wants to back up and get closer for the revive. And Crack goes absolutely huge. Elevate playing too passive in the moment. Now, one squad will win off this hill, but Rebel, man, with them winning that team fight, Taylor, they're going to get close to the 180 mark, probably just over it. They're going to lock this hill down. Elevate needs to be thinking about next.
Yeah, they really do. You're right, 20 seconds. Rebel's going to be scarily close, and Elevate's going to be sweating from that, but Elevate is also within striking distance of winning this too, so fighting for next is absolutely imperative. My only question, though, Addvers with the torque bow, how impactful is that going to be? Identivez has officially handed it over. That's going to be a good elimination and a good stagger to take down Crack. Addvers only one more torque to his name. Any connection here would be great. Oh, that is such a bold push from Zenun, and he makes it happen. Identivez nearly gets another, but this is going to be a great hill for Elevate now.
This is their money hill. They need one more team fight to win this game. Rebel, as they're spreading out, waiting for players to come off the respawn, they will have the frag grenades to work with. They have 2 angles here to approach up here towards the center line of the map. I love the counter shock there on the cover to push that guy back, but they could not dodge the other nade. Noxious has to watch that left ramp. 47 seconds on this hill. It's a tie game, folks. Zenun goes huge. He picks up one. 3 members of Rebel on top of the hill. Zenun hits a nice spread. The revive is there, but where's the help? A flank towards the middle. A 2v1-1 by Elevate. Another 2v1-1 on top of the hill with 37 seconds left. They cannot win off of this. They can't win. My math is off again, but you know we're getting there. I'm off 10.
Again, man.
Bad math strikes again.
Bad strikes again. They can win, and I think they are going to win. Rebel will. No, Rebel's going to get one touch. Rebel will get one touch here, and they don't need that many points, so the opportunity is still here. But Crack has to go ballistic. And he doesn't. So 300 to 286. And that once again showing I have no idea what I'm talking about. I said Elevate. No reason why they win this, but they do. Hey, we're going to game 5, ladies and gentlemen. A lot to talk about, a lot to break down. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Bridge control. I'm going to Zenun. I think Zenun's going to be the guy to do so. And if it is Zenun, he's hitting his shots. His shots are crispy. So I expect him to be all right. But if it's Crushmo or Yogurt, maybe I want to see Crushmo in that spot. I think more so over Yogurt. But then again, you have the competitive history with them. You know them best, and they know the map. So maybe it might not be Zenun. I don't know.
Yeah, Crushmo may be the last you want to put there. It's a Yogurt Zenun position. It definitely is. But we're seeing, actually, it is Crushmo. I said, as soon as I said he may be the last, I said, you know, we talked about him earlier coming here, and I said that this is just a shot hitting position. Oh, wow. And so he is going to go up, but they did not win the fight up top. Nades are picked up. Kardia picks up a kill on mid-bridge as well. And Crushmo is last left alive, and it's only a matter of time before Rebel takes him out.
Flawless round. That was, you know, Crushmo got stunned off the rip. He definitely wasn't the first one. He had the backup. The rest of the Elevate boys, though, continued to push forward, but one by one, they ended up falling. That was an incredibly aggressive round for Elevate, but even despite the aggression, they don't get any eliminations.
Yeah, I want to spectate Crushmo going into that round once again because I just wanted to see, because I felt like he got there late going onto that mid-bridge. But we'll see what his timing is going to be looking like as we go up onto it. As it is going to be a 3-man hit down low. He gets to hop up, gets a team flash, gets in, and now he is safe. Now, this is what I mean by hitting shots, but he's not set up for it. He gets rap shotted there. He didn't get the battle that he wanted. Help comes, but help comes a little bit too late. It was a great initial there for Elevate, but Crushmo, all he had to do was sit in that cover and just get ready to hit some L triggers. But at the end, Crack rap shotted him, and now that was the win condition for this round.
That might be a great shock. He just needs to get Identivez. That's a great shock. If he can pick up Identivez.
Nah, he couldn't get it.
That's great unfortunate. Effort. Yeah, really good effort. You know, Ink put in chat said this is a must win, and that, you know, I was kind of thinking about it. This is really a must win for Rebel. Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, because it's game 5. Like, you know, we know that. But in terms of the future for relegation, right? Because I think Rebel at this point is just really focused on avoiding relegation, right, Blaze? So the big thing for them, if they lose this to head-to-head, let's say Elevate, because Elevate is a team that might go to relegation. If Rebel and Elevate are tied, but they lose to head-to-head, Rebel gets relegated instead of Elevate.
Yeah, so Rebel, Elevate, Queso, Noble, you know, maybe Oxygen, you know, it's just some other teams there towards the bottom end. But Addvers gets on this mid-bridge once again. Crushmo has to back up. Luckily, they will survive with 4 alive. Well, not 4 anymore because the battles are being won high side and the flank is there. Rebel does a fantastic job getting those kills. Zenun tries to get the last second turn. He gets that, and he's in a 1v2. But he's intentionally not looking at Addvers, so Addvers can push up on him and he can get a shot. And we probably saw 2 opportunities for him to kind of hit that one. Great thought process, but still a hard play to make. There being in a 1v4 pretty much.
Man, we have to elevate quite a bit, but unfortunately, they are down 3-0 at this point in time. Tough break overall, but see how this works out now, heading into yet another fresh round. And Elevate, they've got to be more impactful with the stuns, because every time Addvers is hitting his, you know, they're just hitting it and Elevate doesn't even.
They sent the classic strat to go too high side, but look how late they got. Look how free those nades were before anyone on a high side can even be in a position to do anything. Now, I love the other play of pushing through and getting kills. Now, player 5, being Crushmo, put himself in a great spot to catch those players as they were rotating out from the low side. Now, even though the Torque Bow was picked up here for the side of Rebel, they actually got Torque and nades and their backs against the wall. They know no one's behind them and everybody's in front. They're in a good spot to clutch up.
Oof, just missing the head. Identivez, though, will connect on to Crushmo regardless. So that's going to be a 3v3 now and an important round for Elevate before they start taking a big dip, right? A 4-0 would not be what they need, but at this point, you kind of got to favor Elevate, right? They've got mid-bridge. Rebel's the ones pushed back and forced to go up.
I'm favoring Rebel, bro. They got nades. They got nades. Oh, they don't have nades no more because actually, no, yeah, what I'm talking about. Addvers got nades. Kardia got shock. Identivez got Torque Bow. I'm favoring Rebel after that first pick. Yeah, Elevate. They have the positioning mid-mapping on bridge, but they got to dodge all this utility. And Identivez is a playmaker. He's gonna force a difficult shot, but he gets caught out. The nades is there for Addvers. The opening was made, but now a 2v2. Shock was tossed also. Just one nade in the hands of Addvers as they're both trapped in the trenches. Nice angle here for Kardia, but Yogurt fights his way out of a difficult spot, and there's the group up for Elevate. It should be their first round on the board. Does he get bow? Oh, he's flanking low side. Okay.
All right, still 1v2 though. Still 1v2. Opportunities there. He's got to push forward.
Okay,
Noxious Lancering. You know, Kardia looks scary there. That was a man on a mission. That was Jason Bourne.
Yeah, if he was able to quick pick that bow on his way out, that was a different round. But you know, he went inside of the block rather going outside as he was rotating out. But if he goes inside, I think he has the timing to do it. Anywho, as we head here into the next round, Elevate, they got to get something going. That first round is a good start, but they need to pull this round out to get their confidence back.
Yeah, well, Crushmo's still the tip of the spear. Oh,
they're going high side now.
Strat. Yeah, they're going high side again.
Yeah, how you gonna stop the nade pickup? They don't. They play for the kills. But Crushmo, does he have help?
Nope. Fortunately not. Oh, this is good. Noxious push forward. Stun's
That's a good flash.
This is chaos at this point, man. Yogurt by himself, 1v2. Act 1v3, 1v world. I mean, at this point, he's by himself. I don't know. That wasn't a good round. I like how you said it though, Blaze, because you're like, how you gonna counter against nades? It was kind of like,
yeah, right. Like that's why I told you it's clear cut.
Again.
Every map has a clear cut initial strategy, which is probably gives you the highest chance of success. Canals, you need a presence on the low side mid bridge, and I said if Elevate don't do that, they won't win this map.
Kicking time.
All right. We got a bit of a mishap. We're gonna stalemate this out. Let's think this through. I think Kardia might be in some trouble. I know he's gonna be the guy in the back end. There's gonna be the stalemate, so we should be just fine.
So Crushmo has to, like, for these remaining few rounds, if Elevate wants to win, he has to die. Well, he needs not die, but if they want any chance at win, if he does die, it better be on the front end of that mid bridge at the stairs. They are not utilizing their front spawn. There is no sniper on this map, so you can't counter to pick up on nades. If it was a sniper on this map, you can give it up every time, and when that player picks up nades, it's a free headshot. So you can negate that.
Top play.
Yeah, and watch this. I asked again. Who gets nades?
Say it like that.
Who stops the flank?
Oh no, he misses the shot. Pick up.
Wait, he killed his teammate.
Oh no, Crushmo. Noxious backing up. 4v3. Rebel's not slowing down. It's feeding time for them, man. It's 3v2 now. Noxious got a challenge. Oh, this could be a good elimination, though.
Nice ball.
Backs up. Yo, okay, trade, though.
This is
Zenun
winnable.
Goes in for the 1v2. Yo, Zenun goes in for the 1v2. Can he?
I thought he had it with the side bounce.
No.
I thought he got it. He was a shot away.
That was an ugly round, though.
It was ugly as hell, bro. From start to finish.
That was an ugly round.
From start to finish. Okay, this map. This whole map is ugly. Like, how did we just go from split to split and we get rid of training grounds control, but we didn't get rid of Canals execution? Man, we couldn't find no good swaps for a fear. Who was deciding that one?
You're so soft before, man.
It's just this map, guys.
Asked me too. Chat specifically asked me to ask you, how do you feel about double snipes not being honored? But I didn't want to beat a dead horse because I already know.
Bro, y'all know I say it every time. You have to. You can't stop the nade pickup, okay?
You're so disappointed. All right. So Zenun, 3 bolts to his name. Rebel, they've got positioning on mid. Elevate's gonna have to fight it out and fight tooth and nail to get back up there. Noxious does have the shock, and I believe the nades have already been thrown at this point. So even though we see Elevate with the man advantage, nothing is guaranteed at this point.
Yeah, nothing guaranteed just yet. Oof. Great effort. He needs to go on top of the sandbag with that one. There you go. Rolls him off a cover. The shots aren't hit though on Identivez. And now he holds the line. Saves face. Pushes back these members. The last torque bow being revved. It misses again. And so now Identivez finally gets cleaned up. Addvers stuck in a corner. Ooh. But as Elevate fighting their way through, the secret man is there for crack. No way. No way. If he gets this down, it's winnable.
It's very winnable.
Okay.
It was winnable, though. It was winnable. But Elevate stays alive a little bit longer. I know Zenun, man. He's wishing he hit that final shot on Kardia on mid-bridge. Man, he would have brought it 5-3. It would have been 5-3 at this point. A little bit more manageable. But Elevate stays alive. Let's see if they can do this, plays.
Yeah,
we'll see
if they can.
Again.
All right, here we go. Let's go back to let's look at the mini map. I'm looking at 5-1. That's all I care about is 5-1. Where do they go? With the way one. Okay, we got to fight here down low. Crushmo, you got to do it for your team.
Oh, he's stunned.
I know you're stunned. Oh, beautiful shot. There's the help. Couldn't get the L trigger, but the flank came in from the top side of the map. Great effort. And so Elevate sitting on one towards the top, so that allowed them to get the free torque bow, but it gives up Identivez the nades, and I think that's a fantastic trade. Now they just need to survive and take down one of the greatest execution players of our time in Identivez, as he has one nade in his back pocket on one of his favorite maps of all time. Love it. What a beautiful play. Cuts off the route, gets close enough to put out damage. And now he is not going to allow Noxious to get his health back. But he is also playing against one of the best individual players of all time. Noxious wins fights. But not this one.
Oh, and Identivez
not this one, boy. Not this one.
He's going to rip the head off and let him know.
Not this fight.
Not that fight. Not game 5.
That's Rebel, baby.
Yes,
that's game 5. That's the victory.
3-2. Well done to Rebel. They defeat Elevate, although it got a bit shaky. It got a bit shaky for both teams, but Rebel gets their first victory in Pro League. Well done. On the back, obviously, of Identivez clutching it up in that last moment. 1v1 against Noxious, but
1v2.
1v2, excuse me. You're right. 1v2. Hit that first one with the nade, and then the second onto Noxious. But well done, Rebel. Hey, I'm happy for you. I really am. And that's got to make them feel good. That's got to make them feel really good.
Yeah, no, it definitely does, you guys. You know, congrats to Rebel for fighting their way through that series. I was really scared for them on that last map. But, you know, I think Elevate really screwed themselves with their strategy. They really gave Rebel several rounds there because of how they chose to contest that fight. And that's Elevate can only blame themselves for that. They fall hard in the previous maps to get to this point. But Rebel had a clear-cut, better game plan than them. And now they had the personnel to execute it.
Yeah, they were just more confident attacking mid-bridge, right, and taking that control, getting out with the nades too, right? That was pretty impactful. Yeah, going topside, just it was too slow, right? It was way too slow. It didn't work out. You were critical of that as you should be, obviously. And I had fun casting it though with you, Blaze, because I don't hear you too disappointed too often, but you were so disappointed in casting that match, man. That was pretty, or that map specifically, not match, but that was a lot of fun for me personally.
Yeah, you know, and the only reason why I was just disappointed is because the strategy on this map is simple. And at this level of gameplay, if you deviate away from it, you have to still be able to overload that mid-bridge and stop the nade pickup. You got to figure out how to get first blood somewhere as soon as possible. and Elevate, they shifted their focus to Identivez on the top side, but that allowed for Addvers to continuously pick up nades, to continuously flank and apply pressure on that side of the map. And that's something that Elevate cannot deal with. Even if they got torqued for a few rounds, Zenun wasn't hitting his shots. Even if they took mid-bridge to start, you know, Crushmo just didn't have the presence that he needed there to be able to push back Rebel. In the end, it just wasn't a good strategy, and Rebel was able to come out on top. Everything worked out for him. We got a chance to see one of the greatest of all time in execution win a 1v2 right there to close out this series.
That was a clean 1v2. That was a clean 1v2. He handled that very, very well. Well done to Identivez. Close series.